Welcome to an emergency episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast, and it is an emergency episode because tomorrow is the official start of the 2026-27 season, and right before the season started, the ISU announced that the Russia and Belarus ban from ISU and international competitions was partially lifted. And the reason that this is partial is that it only applies to skaters. Skaters from Russia and Belarus can start competing this coming season as neutral athletes, that same AIN status that was given at the Olympics. So that means no national flags, no national kits, and no national anthems. And AIN athletes will be screened similarly to how they were screened for the Olympics. So there are three eligibility requirements that the athletes are screened for. Athletes would not be eligible if, one, they are in active service with the armed forces or a national security agency in Russia or Belarus. Two, if they have taken an active part in military operations in the war against Ukraine at any time since February 2022. Or three, they have actively and publicly supported the war against Ukraine since February 2022. So this only applies to skaters, and so there will still be no officials from Russia or Belarus at ISU and international competitions. And there will also be no ISU and international competitions held in Russia or in Belarus. The ISU also followed up the communication with a Q&A, and it states some of the reasoning for the change and attributed a lot of it to IOC guidance. They also say, quote, skaters should not be held responsible for the actions of their governments. Safety remains the guiding consideration for any further easing. So that's probably to say any officials or any international competitions that could possibly be held in Russia or Belarus. And they also noted that, quote, the ISU reserves the right to reintroduce or increase restrictive measures should safety or integrity issues emerge. And they also state that just because a skater wasn't cleared for the Olympics doesn't mean that they won't be cleared for ISU competitions. The Olympics assessment will be taken into account, but they also say, quote, where a disqualifying circumstance has genuinely ceased and no other disqualifying conduct applies, the skater's eligibility may be reassessed going forward. So given that criteria, that's probably a very small set of cases, like if they were formerly in active service, but they didn't serve in the war against Ukraine, but it now is no longer in active service and has never publicly and actively supported the war. That's probably a case for that restriction to be eased. So what does this mean for the skaters, provided that they pass the eligibility rules? Well, it likely means a few things. Adeliia Petrosian and Petr Gumennik will be eligible for the Grand Prix. Their season best score from last season was in the top 24, which is part of the criteria, and so they'll be part of the alternates list. And both of them are the top season best score that didn't get at least one Grand Prix assignment. Two, they're going to allow Russia and Belarus to enter ISU events and international events. And for the world and for Europeans, they're going to have the standard one spot for each discipline because they weren't at either of the competitions last season to qualify more spots. And then lastly, they will also be eligible for World Team Trophy, which is different than what was happening at the Olympics, because at the Olympics, AIN athletes were not eligible to be part of the team event. World Team Trophy qualifications will be based on results from this upcoming season.